Rodrigo Borgia, the most scandalous pope in history? Subscribe to the channel Lived History and leave a like on the video. Rodrigo Borgia, better known as Pope Alexander VI, is considered one of the most corrupt and scandalous popes in history. But was he really as perverse as he is said to be? Or was his dark reputation only the result of the propaganda of his enemies? Rodrigo Borgia was born on January 1st, 1431, in Játiva, a small town in the ancient kingdom of Valencia, into a family of Aragonese origins. From a young age, his destiny was marked by boundless ambition and the desire to achieve absolute power. His big break came in 1455, when his uncle Alfonso de Borja ascended to the papal throne under the name of Calixtus III. Taking advantage of his position, Alfonso favored Rodrigo with titles and riches, sending him to study canon law at the prestigious University of Bologna. But Rodrigo was not content to be a mere cardinal. From the beginning, he made it clear that his ultimate goal was the papal throne, and he was willing to do anything to obtain it, no matter how corrupt or scandalous the means used. Over the years, Rodrigo Borgia established himself as an influential figure within the Vatican, occupying key positions thanks to his cunning and the protection of his uncle. His charisma and diplomatic skills allowed him to gain powerful allies, but also to make implacable enemies. In 1492, upon the death of Pope Innocent VIII, the conclave opened to elect a new pontiff. Rodrigo knew that the only way to win was to trade votes. It is said that he offered enormous sums of money and lands to the cardinals in exchange for their support. His main rival, Giuliano della Rovere, the future Pope Julius II, accused him of having bought the papacy, but was unable to prove it. In the end, Rodrigo Borgia was elected pope with the name of Alexander VI. His rise marked the beginning of one of the most corrupt and scandalous periods in the history of the Church. Unlike other pontiffs who at least tried to save appearances, Alexander VI never hid his dissolute lifestyle. It is known for certain that he had at least 7 children, some of whom were of unknown mothers. His most famous lover was Vanozza Catanei, with whom he had his 4 most important children. Cesare Borgia, his favorite and main executor of his ambitions. Lucrezia Borgia, used as a political pawn in arranged marriages. Giovanni Borgia, the eldest, murdered in mysterious circumstances. Goffredo Borgia, the least favorite of the brothers. But the list of his lovers did not end there. Alexander VI also had an affair with Giulia Farnese, a young Italian noblewoman, with whom he had a daughter, Laura. One of the most infamous episodes attributed to the Pope is the Chestnut Banquet, said to have taken place on October 31st, 1500 in the Vatican. According to legend, the pontiff, his son Cesare, and other nobles organized a party in which 50 courtesans danced naked, picking chestnuts from the floor with their mouths, in an orgy of unbridled lust. This episode was documented by Johann Burchard, master of ceremonies of the Vatican and a bitter enemy of the Borgias, which has led some historians to doubt the veracity of the event. The Borgia scandals were not limited to corruption and parties. Violence and murder were common tools of their political strategy. One of the most sensational cases was the assassination of Giovanni Borgia, the eldest son of Alexander VI. In 1497, his body was found in the Tiber, with numerous stab wounds. Suspicion fell on his brother Cesare Borgia, who probably eliminated him out of envy or to consolidate his own power. Cesare Borgia was also held responsible for the death of Lucrezia's second husband, Alfonso of Aragon, who was brutally strangled in 1500 on his orders. Alexander VI also played a key role in world history. In 1493, he issued the Alexandrian Bulls, which granted Spain control of the lands of the New World, provided that the natives were converted to Christianity. This decree sealed the fate of Latin America, strengthening Spanish influence on the continent and consolidating the power of the Borgias within the Vatican. Even Niccolò Machiavelli, in his treatise, The Prince, described Alexander VI as a master of deception, capable of manipulating friends and enemies to maintain power. When Alexander VI reached the height of his power, he sought to consolidate the Borgia dynasty, placing his sons in strategic roles. Cesare Borgia became his armed wing, amassing more than 26 noble titles and becoming a ruthless and ambitious general. But his boundless ambition led him to make too many enemies. On August 18, 1503, Pope Alexander VI died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. There are 3 theories about his death. Accidental poisoning. He is said to have wanted to poison some enemy cardinals, but accidentally ingested the poison. Malaria, a common disease in Rome at the time. Murder. Some historians believe that his own enemies in the Vatican took the opportunity to eliminate him. His corpse decomposed rapidly, becoming unrecognizable, fueling the legend of divine punishment. With the death of Alexander VI, the power of the Borgias quickly collapsed. Without the protection of his father, Cesare Borgia lost control of his territories, while his sister Lucrezia tried to rebuild her life. For centuries, history has painted the Borgias as a diabolical family, a symbol of corruption and sin. But were they really that evil? Some historians argue that their black legend was exaggerated by their political enemies, especially the Italians who did not accept a Spanish pope. But it is undeniable that Alexander VI abused nepotism, corruption, and political manipulation like no other before him. That's all for today. Let me know what you think in the comments of this pope. See you next time. Bye.